Ever feel like no matter what you eat, your Hashimoto symptoms just won't calm down? The truth is, certain foods can actually make things worse, spiking your antibodies, straining your energy, and keeping you stuck in a constant state of inflammation. In this video, I'll break down the top 5 foods I recommend avoiding if you want to ditch the inflammation and start healing your thyroid. I'm Naira, a certified holistic nutritionist and your Hashimoto's BFF. And if you're anything like me when I was first diagnosed, you've probably spent hours Googling, reading blogs, or scrolling social media, only to end up more confused about what you should or shouldn't eat. One person says to follow this diet, another says to avoid that food group, and before long, it feels impossible to know what actually works. That's why in this video, I'm cutting through the noise. I'm going to walk you through the 5 foods that consistently show up as troublemakers for people with Hashimoto's. The ones that can trigger inflammation, make your thyroid symptoms worse, or quietly keep your immune system stuck in attack mode. And the best part is, once you know what those foods are, you can start experimenting with small changes and see how your body responds. Plus, I got a free resource for you. It's called the Hashimoto Symptom Map. It walks you through common symptoms and helps you trace them back to potential root causes, so you'll know exactly what to focus on next. You can grab it through the link in the description box. All right, let's dive into the list, starting with the one I see the most often: gluten. Now, here's why this matters for Hashimoto's. Gluten proteins can actually look very similar to thyroid tissue. This is called molecular mimicry. So when your immune system reacts to gluten, it can mistakenly attack your thyroid as well. For people with Hashimoto's, that can mean higher antibody levels, more inflammation, and a worsening of symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, or even digestive upset. In fact, studies have found that people with autoimmune thyroid disease often see improvements in antibody levels and symptoms when they remove gluten from their diet. Now, that doesn't mean everyone has to go gluten-free forever, but it does mean it's one of the most important foods to experiment with if you're struggling to get your Hashimoto symptoms under control. When I was first told to remove gluten, I honestly resisted. I love bread, I love pasta and baked goods, and the thoughts of giving them up felt impossible. But I reached a point where I was so tired of feeling exhausted and foggy that I decided to try it. Within just a few weeks, I noticed real changes. My bloating started to go down, my digestion felt calmer, I wasn't hitting that afternoon wall where I needed a nap or sugar just to keep going. And the biggest shift came when I rechecked my labs. My thyroid antibodies, which had been sky high, started trending downward. That was the proof I needed. Not only did I feel better, but my body was showing measurable signs of improvement. So here's the takeaway here. Gluten is one of the most common food triggers for Hashimoto's. If you've never tried removing it, even for just 30 days, it's worth testing to see how your body responds. Keep track of your energy, your digestion, and your labs if possible. Sometimes the change can be more powerful than you expect. Now, if gluten is the number 1 trigger I see, the next food is definitely a close second. The second food that can make Hashimoto symptoms worse is dairy. Now, why is dairy such a big deal? For many people, the main problem isn't lactose. It's a protein in dairy called casein. Casein can be inflammatory for the immune system, especially when the gut lining is already compromised, which is very common in autoimmune conditions. When casein slips through the gut barrier, it can trigger the immune system and drive inflammation, which may worsen Hashimoto symptoms. On top of that, dairy is also mucus forming for some people. That's why many notice more sinus congestion, post-nasal drip, or even skin issues when they consume a lot of milk, cheese, or ice cream. And when your immune system is already on edge, those extra reactions just add more fuel to the fire. Research has shown that when people with Hashimoto's cut out dairy, their bloating gets better, their digestion feels lighter, and their sinus issues clear up. Some even notice their skin calming down and their energy improving. I personally struggled with constant bloating for years. Even after removing gluten, I still felt bogged down. When I cut dairy, and I mean really gave it a solid 30 days without milk, cheese, or yogurt, my digestion completely changed. I felt clear-headed for the first time in months, and when I reintroduced dairy to test it, all of my symptoms cleared right back up. That experiment alone was enough for me to decide it just wasn't worth the pain. And that's what I recommend. Treat it like an experiment. Remove dairy for a few weeks and see how your body responds. and then reintroduced it to test your sensitivity. You may be surprised at how big a difference it can make. But it's not just dairy. There's another common food that can quietly flare Hashimoto symptoms. The third food that can make Hashimoto symptoms worse is soy. Now, here is why soy is tricky. First, soy contains compounds called goitrogens, which in large amounts can interfere with thyroid hormone production. For someone already struggling with thyroid function, that can make symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, or hair loss feel worse. Soy can also interfere with thyroid hormone absorption. So if you're on thyroid medication and you're eating a lot of soy, whether that's tofu, edamame, or soy protein shakes, it can reduce how well your medication is absorbed. That means you may not be getting the full benefit, even if you're taking the right dose. On top of that, soy can act as an immune trigger for some people. Because it's one of the top food allergens, it has the potential to aggravate an already overactive immune system, which is the last thing you want with Hashimoto's. The challenge is that soy hides in so many processed foods. It's in the things like protein bars, veggie burgers, processed meats, baked goods, salad dressings, sauces, the list goes on, even in some chocolate. And of course, it's common in plant-based protein powders. So sometimes people are eating soy multiple times a day without even realizing it. A simple tip here is to start reading labels closely and noticing how often soy shows up. You don't necessarily need to panic if it's listed in tiny amounts, but if you're eating soy regularly and your Hashimoto symptoms feel stuck, it's worth testing a period without it. You'll be surprised by how much clearer and more energetic you feel once you cut back. And speaking of hidden triggers, the next category surprises a lot of people. The fourth category of foods that can make Hashimoto's worse is processed foods and refined sugars. I'm sure you saw this one coming. Here's why they're a problem. Refined sugar and highly processed carbs cause your blood sugar to spike quickly and then crash just as hard. Every time that happens, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline to bring things back into balance. And for someone with Hashimoto's, that constant roller coaster adds even more stress to an already sensitive immune system. Over time, this pattern can worsen fatigue, increase brain fog, and make mood swings or irritability more intense. It also drives inflammation, which can keep your antibodies elevated and your symptoms flaring. And when processed foods are a daily staple, you're not just dealing with sugar spikes. You're also often missing out on the nutrients your thyroid needs to function well. Now, I want to be clear, this doesn't mean you can never eat a treat again. I don't believe in perfection or fear around food. What really matters is consistency. If processed snacks, sugary drinks, or sweets are making up a big part of your diet, let's be honest here, that's when you're more likely to feel stuffed with your symptoms. But if you're focusing on balanced meals most of the time, so protein, healthy fats, and fiber to keep your blood sugar stable, then the occasional treat isn't going to undo all your progress. So instead of thinking about giving up sugar forever, think about how you can reduce the daily intake that keeps your body on that blood sugar roller coaster. Even small swaps, like choosing whole fruit over candy or making a homemade version of your favorite dessert with less sugar, can make a real difference. Now, the last one I want to list might surprise you. It's oils. Not all oils, but specifically the highly processed ones like canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, and vegetable oil blends. Here's why these oils can be such a problem. They are very high in omega-6 fatty acids. And while we do need some omega-6, the balance matters. Most of us are already getting way too much from packaged and processed foods. And when omega-6 is out of balance with omega-3s, it tips the body towards inflammation. For someone with Hashimoto's, where the immune system is already in attack mode, that added inflammation can make symptoms like joint pain, fatigue, and brain fog even worse. The tricky part is that these oils are everywhere. They're in most packaged snacks, salad dressings, sauces, your favorite restaurants' foods, and even so-called health products like granola bars or plant-based meat substitutes. That means you could be eating them multiple times a day without even realizing it. The good news is you don't have to eliminate oils altogether. It's just about choosing better options. So, healthier swaps include extra virgin olive oil for salads, and it's really good for low heat cooking. Then there's avocado oil, which is my personal favorite, and it's really good for higher heat cooking and roasting. And then there's coconut oil, which is great for baking or any type of stovetop recipe. These oils are more stable, less inflammatory, and provide fats your body can actually use to support energy and hormone balance. So start by swapping one processed oil at a time. Maybe it's choosing an olive oil based dressing instead of a soybean oil one, or using avocado oil when you cook at home. Small shifts like these really do add up over time. So let's take a moment to quickly recap what we covered today. We talked about the 5 big food triggers that can make Hashimoto's worse: gluten, which can cross-react with thyroid tissue and spike antibodies; dairy, especially the protein casein, which can cause stress, digestion, and fuel inflammation; soy, which can interfere with your thyroid hormone absorption; fourthly, processed foods and refined sugars, which drive blood sugar spikes, stress your immune system, and so forth; and then lastly, highly processed oils like canola, corn, and soybean oil, which push your body towards inflammation and keep your symptoms stirred up. And remember, you don't need to be perfect or cut everything out overnight. That's overwhelming and not realistic for most people. What matters most is progress, not perfection. So start small. Maybe it's swapping your cooking oil this week or trying a gluten-free experiment for 30 days. Whatever you decide, just notice how your body responds. Take note of it. Every single shift you make is a step towards calming your immune system and giving your thyroid a chance to heal. If this video gave you some clarity or hope, I'd love for you to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss more weekly Hashimoto's content. And share in the comments, which of these 5 foods do you notice impacts you the most? Your story might be exactly what helps someone else feel less alone. And remember, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. I am here with you, cheering you on every step of the way. You've got this, and I'll see you in the next video.